Welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks, the place where geeks come to go. And this is session 22 of Cloudscape. If you made it this far, why?
I'm
if
sorry.
you haven't, you will eventually. How we all doing tonight, guys?
I'm realizing that time is a myth.
Time is soup.
I've been telling y'all.
I feel like it's a mild gazpacho. Time is a rug.
Why is it cold?
Because it don't give a fuck.
You know what?
Good
I'm
call.
trying to understand first of all why. Okay, time is a soup. Sure, I can understand that. Time is a certain kind of soup, so now I have something to compare it to. Why is it cold? And I'm thinking you can't feel time, right? If time is a construct, you can't feel time. You can name that's cute. It's gazpacho. I can get behind that. It's nonsense to me. Why is it cold? Now I feel like
when you get to be Josh's age, you'll feel the cold
embrace of the gazpacho time.
Anytime I get out of bed in the morning, I can feel time.
My shower thought yesterday that I need to share because Austin's comment about you can't feel time. But you know, my favorite thing is, though, you can smell the screams of grass.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to the screams of grass.
Sky and I were in the shower, and that was my thought. I was like, you know what's crazy? That you can smell a sound. And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, when grass is cut, that's them screaming, and you can smell that.
Oh my god.
That's outstanding.
You can smell their fear.
Outstanding. I will never not think that the entirety of mowing my lawn.
You're welcome. You're smelling mass murder.
But they grow back. It's like cutting off.
So it makes it
gecko's
okay.
Tail.
Which I also do.
En masse.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. Are you guys ready to jump into today's episode of Cloudscape?
Do it.
If only I knew who everybody here was.
I'm
I
Josh.
gave you your opportunity.
Like,
And you talked about grass screaming.
I'm Britt, and I'm allergic to the smell of mass murdering of grass.
I'm Austin, and I would go for a nice cool bowl of gazpacho.
Yeah. You're drinking it, buddy.
and I'm trying
As
to be back
we
in my
speak.
spot. But somebody tell me, what's gazpacho? I was being serious. I thought that was a dessert.
Oh no, it's
cold
cold
soup.
It's cold soup.
Who the fuck eats cold soup?
It's
Like
like
a
a
type of
cold
soup that's supposed to be.
Isn't it like a Mexican soup? There's like a lot of ingredients in it to make it gazpacho. Though I've had cold fruit soup. They call it fruit soup on a cruise, but really it's just like blended
Juice.
up bananas and then cold
Isn't that a smoothie?
Sounds like a smoothie, yeah.
that you eat with a spoon in a bowl because
Is that a parfait?
it's actually the best thing I've ever had, and I live for it.
Oh, bro. Anyways,
I live for it everywhere. He says on a stream full of fucking white people.
I'm albino Cambodian.
Okay. Okay. Let's jump into today's episode of Cloudscape. Previously on Cloudscape, we're laughing because of what happened in that part that was cut out.
Doesn't the clap mean we just started?
No, you can.
No, the clap is just for syncing. The clap can be synced whenever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I feel like it's most convenient when it's at the beginning. But
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter.
most
Time is
convenient.
gazpacho.
time is gazpacho, bro.
gazpacho.
Just drink it up at your leisure. It's not getting any colder.
Did you just say leisure?
I love leisure.
What?
Yeah.
Is Gus?
That's not a Canadianism.
That's
That's
the
No, it's
dumbest way to spell something. Jesus Christ.
No, it's I prefer
Gaz
leisure,
It's
but
just tomato soup with croutons.
yeah, I prefer leisure. But when you say at your, you can't say at your leisure. You have to say
What
at
the fuck's
your
a
leisure.
summer fruit?
It's fruit in the summer.
You know what, guys? I think this is a great episode, and I'll see you next week.
Previously on Cloudscape, the gang left the safety of the Greenstem Cafe, finally made it over to the conservatory where Waylon and his associates often use to bury bodies.
Cirkin. Associates.
What'd I say?
Waylon.
Wayland.
Previously on Cloudscape.
I spend a fate point. Wayland also buried bodies there.
And it's super awkward because I didn't know that anybody else did it, and there was
So he
only
was
more
digging
bodies.
into bodies, like, what
Yeah.
the fuck,
And I was
bro?
and I'm just sitting, like thinking I'm old. You know what I mean? Like,
Did
I
I
don't even remember
use
killing this guy. I didn't kill that guy. How did he end up? Did he crawl into there by himself? And then here I am sitting with a dead body in a bag, going like, "Well, where can I dig?" Because I was certain that was the spot.
So this is what happens to Cabbage Patch Kids if they don't get adopted.
Previously on Cloudscape.
That's canon. We're canonized. That's what happened to Cabbage Patch Kids in this universe.
So they just grow old and stay in the dirt. Plucking them is what gives them sentience.
What did you say?
Plucking them is what gives them
Okay,
sentience.
Okay, well, that's not what I heard. That's not what I heard. Can you make a guess as to what I heard?
Duck?
Yeah. Yeah. Dodging underneath them makes them come to life. Someone passes a Cabbage Patch doll to you, you avoid it, and now it's alive.
Yeah.
Oh. My first experience was landing on the ground. Please cuddle me and give me a name.
Anyway,
Previously on
previously on Cloudscape.
I'm laughing because of the part that was cut out.
No, it's not. That's our intro bit.
Yeah, I think that it would be faster just to watch the last session than to
Agreed.
deal with this recap.
Because that
so-
also wasn't the last session. That was the session before.
I was going back a little further just to give some extra context because I don't know, it's been a minute. Y'all fought in the conservatory.
Not against
Haven.
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Well, now
Maybe.
no.
They were.
GM makes suspicious note. That's not a fucking word.
What is
Everybody
spirit?
relax. Everybody relax and just listen for 2 seconds.
I'm gonna mute my
2
mic.
seconds.
I just need a minute.
The problem is this is like T has more fun doing this than playing. This is T's whole pride and joy is the problem. And so part of me wants to let him have it, but the other part of me wants to just like get to the part that I like, which is playing.
It's so accurate.
It's like just really tough for me as a person. So I'm like,
So
like, he's in his lane.
Honest with you, I don't think you like me.
I'm sorry if I'm giving you that impression. That's not true.
That's so funny. Can confirm. He said, I don't think Austin likes me in private.
Am I a
Well,
mean girl?
Now we know not to text Bozer private conversations.
God. We're getting close tonight, guys. We're getting closer as
Very
a community.
Yeah, we're just putting up. Do
he's
you have
a hard
anything to
cut.
air? Do you have anything that you taught me in private that you would like to say out loud so that I can confirm?
Nope.
Nice.
Wait a second. I have a feeling she doesn't like me.
Can confirm. He's told me that in private.
It's because you're Canadian.
Yeah.
She told me that in private.
She is nationalist. Previously on Cloudscape.
Pull the reins back on that.
So we're doing what episode today?
We're gonna get so many good card cut clips at the beginning of this episode.
Jesus Christ.
Between
Whoever's editing
1945,
this, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but also so happy.
there is a 10-minute span of just chaos. Start 1945. We're at 2936 right now.
1945 did start some chaos.
Yeah.
I didn't read history books.
It's World War II, bub.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You heard of Hitler?
Okay. Okay.
I'm done.
I was just about to say. Now that everyone's gotten out of their
He was in
system,
Chile in 1955.
That was the last one. I'm done interjecting. Let's start the game. I'm so sorry.
I stopped being silly real quick.
Hey, I
I'm
like
just sitting
everyone
here-
at this table, by the way.
Agreed. I'm also a fan of everybody at this table.
Thank you for the reassurance.
I also don't hate anyone at this table.
In
Say
T's
she likes
defense, he thinks I don't like him most days. So
He ignores me for weeks at a time. I have so many text messages to him that go unresponded to.
it's not true.
Bitch, C2E2 text. I've sent you 2 this week and you ignored both of them.
What?
One was specifically about hotels.
No, you did not.
I will air out dirty laundry so fast, sir.
Can we not air it out at 8:57 when we're supposed to be recording?
While I'm currently recording it.
I'm looking back. I don't see a thing. Oh,
Oh,
Oh, there it is.
I'm just
ignored. Okay, guys. Just
All right, guys. We tried.
That was so fucking perfect.
sorry. No, they're talking shit.
Why is
Let's-
that really him?
I will
It's
love
the
it.
most flaccid pizza I have ever seen.
I feel like
They
we
make it
all
in-house.
stopped together and all looked at Britt's
Yeah.
camera at the
the
exact
problem.
same time.
That's the problem. Brit was like, okay, guys, no funny business.
Let me just lick the tip real
Okay, guys.
quick.
Okay, guys. We're not gonna be doing anything silly anymore.
I was fine. I wasn't. I was good. No, look, I'm broke.
I really wish Britt would get it together so we could start this episode.
Yeah, God, dude. Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
I'm sorry.
All right. I like everyone at the table except for one person.
Fuck.
Oh.
Oh, Sky left. She's now mad at me.
now there's 2 people.
Now there's 2 people.
My God, I love you all so fucking much.
You wanna clap again?
I feel so sorry for whoever's editing this episode.
Well, no, because they're gonna just be editing it from here.
From here.
Minutes and whatever.
Oh no, we need all of those clippable bits.
Yeah. Wanna clap again for editing? 3, 2, 1.
Racial
the most-
slur.
That was the most in sync clap. Okay, I'm done.
I'm muting my mic till the intro's over.
Me too.
Oh my God, it's so dead quiet in here. Previously on Cloudscape, the gang finally came head to head with Haven and his gang of goons in the conservatory, where blows were shared, lives were lost, everyone stop and tea. Everyone did their damnedest to survive, but in the end, Nan came in clutch with a thresher. Tobias showed his X ability, which is power stealing, by pumping himself full of X and stealing the powers of a gold member. And our team came victorious with nearly the loss of Theo, and Sirkin left with canonized blades of his brother that Haven had this whole time. Curious about that. They quickly escaped through the car that Kit had backed in several times through the front door of the conservatory and made it to Waylon's safe house for the first time, even though he brought it up episode 1. They finally had a good night rest. Theo had his wounds patched up. I made a mistake in the rules where the ear bleeding is completely gone because it was the end of a session. But the severe consequence of the stab wounds is now patched up and healing, which is a new aspect. And the next morning, Nan basically calls a meeting to get everybody on the same page because she is over your bullshit being hidden away, which she revealed in a certain research laboratory that was inhabited by not only a masked individual, which seemingly disappeared a couple days ago, a research assistant that went a little insane once that masked man disappeared, and several other subjects which were apparently released into Aurora. During the conversation, a fate point was spent in an amazing fashion, canonizing the fact that because of Tobias's X ability, which is power stealing, during the time before his disappearing, when he was doing really well in the shop, somehow through the power of X, he had to get that from somebody, and it came from none other than our Kit. So he was apparently drugging his own daughter and stealing her ability to better his sales. Upon realizing that, he had a little bit of a breakdown, and Kit stormed out, followed by Sirkin. And that's where we're going to pick up on today's episode.
It's a lot of drama.
Oh, every instance we get further into Tobias, I really like the roller coaster of like, is he a good dude? Is he a bad dude?
I'm pretty sure that's a question for all of us.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Excluding Wayland.
Sirkin's a bad dude, so
I feel like we should make a graphic where it's like the good dad, bad dad meter, and it's just like a little picture of his face that's sliding on it as the story progresses.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
Will he be redeemed? Anybody?
Austin, it will have that art ready next episode.
I'll just have it on a stick. I'll just have it on a stick.
Yeah. Oops.
So Nan, Tobias is now slumped against a pillar, but Nan, Waylon, Theo, and Alsvid are still at the table. What are y'all doing?
I guess that was pretty heavy, and Wayland had just spent some time with Kit kind of talking about being vulnerable and like accepting that whatever is going on, there's having the ability to listen to the other person is really important. And then that happened, and I feel like it kind of undermined Wayland's perspective on the whole ordeal. So I think that Wayland would be kind of like withdrawn a little bit. Like I would still sit at the table to keep like listening, but I think that I would be kind of in my head being like, damn, I just gave some like pretty piss poor advice at the end of the day. So I think that I'm more or less just brooding in the corner, trying to wrap my head around what's gone on. Because Wayland likes Kit, and that really sucks. But I don't think he's the kind of guy to like, what's the matter? You can talk to me. You know what I mean? I think that he's just like, damn, dude, wow. So I'm more listening than anything. I don't know if anyone has actionable plans.
Theo?
I think Theo was just interviewing them to get information for us. but I don't remember what questions I asked last week.
You didn't really ask a lot of questions. Nan kind of, in a huff, shared that she's been locked in a research facility. The fact that there was a masked individual, everything that you learned. But she did share just before the episode closed that whoever this other woman was announced that she's going to release the subjects.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I guess that's a big deal. I wonder if you should tip off the light guard.
Yeah, Theo's gonna go make a phone call
Okay. To who?
to the commander.
Okay. So you make a phone call, rings a couple times. Or
Hey, it's Theo.
seems like you had a busy night.
Yeah, before we talk about that, we've got a new pressing issue.
I'm starting to like our phone calls less and less.
You and me both. You remember that heist earlier this week at the warehouse? Reports of that psionic figure.
Yes. We didn't manage to apprehend that individual.
Yeah,
Right.
I got a confidential informant that is has let me know that there are more and they are set to be released on the city.
More what exactly?
I don't have an answer to that question, but expect chaos to be roaming through the streets.
Yeah. I appreciate the phone call. This is proving to be a beneficial relationship, Mr. Maxwell.
Once I get more information, I'll let you know.
On that note, I think you should know that my people showed on the scene in the greenhouse district last night. And managed to pull several deceased from a certain greenhouse. One was hanging on by a thread. He's being interrogated and looked after medically.
Have you guys started digging yet?
I saw some fresh dirt that
Just remember that is going to be very pivotal to burying a individual we no longer want on the streets.
how do you mean?
Kieran is directly involved. They will all directly link back to him.
Good morning. Yeah.
In his head, he's just like,
We should keep this brief.
I'll be at your office later today. We have some things to recap.
It just depends on the time because later today I have an appointment at
I'll be there at
Alden
6. Theo
Gold
hangs up the phone.
funeral. 6, you said?
Yep.
Okay. 6 p.m.?
Sure.
I'll be
6
there.
a.m.
I'll be there in an hour,
Yeah, it is past 6 a.m.
maybe.
I think we said it was like late morning.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we
like
slept in.
10:30.
And I was this close to spending a fate point that whatever he said, it was actually like his daughter's like ballet recital. But
Well, Theo does spin on his heels. Who wants to go to a funeral?
I don't think that's wise. Like, I don't think that something. I don't know if guaranteed something will go down, but I really think that we gotta let the dust settle and make a calm and detailed approach. I think that we're just asking for something to go wrong that we are not foreseeing. But that's just me. I'm not your dad.
Fate point.
That's just me. I'm not your dad. That's just me. I am your father.
When you do say father, though, Theo does wince at that statement.
Let's just traverse outside quickly. The door swings open. Kit slams outside, followed shortly after Sirkin. What are y'all doing?
Sirkin waits for Kit to let her keep walking and stands a distance away from her, and before she turns around, he pulls out the daggers and waits for her to turn around. And when she does, he throws one at her.
You know, I was gonna joke that.
So I'm gonna
with Sirkin.
I'm gonna roll a shoot.
Okay.
See how this goes.
Kit, roll a defense.
But Theo's the problem.
You can use athletics, or
It's a 3.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Thing is broken.
because we haven't had enough deaths.
Okay. Oh God. A -1.
That's
So-
4 shifts.
So what happens is I would like that shift to be in reference to how scared she gets. Because what happens is he throws it, and then as it's like coming right at her, it almost stops in midair and swings back, and you see that Sirkin is holding the other one in his handle out, and he like almost the reference that everybody but Brit will get. It's almost like water bending, the way he swings the it flows the knife back up and swirls it kind of in a more elaborate way than what Haven was using them for.
Theo's just in the background. What the fuck is wrong with you?
We're outside. You can't see us.
You are inside a building. You don't see
So
it.
we're all inside.
No, they
I'm
left.
very confused at the locations anymore.
You're in a big warehouse. She stormed outside the warehouse once her dad revealed what he revealed.
Oh, I thought you said they came back.
No, not yet.
Wow.
And so yeah, she watches the blade basically fly with Sirkin's control until it swoops back to his other hand.
So you're scared shitless, Brit. Kit.
Am I taking mental stress?
You know what? Go ahead and take a single point of mental stress.
That's hilarious.
That's worth 4 shifts of physical damage.
Post-traumatic Sirkin syndrome.
I mean, a giant knife stopping a few inches from your face is probably not. It's probably caused some mental stress, sure.
So what are you doing, Kit?
I'm just gonna stare blankly at him, because you just what felt like attempted murder, and so I'm just
with both daggers in hand, I just start approaching her as she's frozen in fear.
and she's gonna ready her fist.
As he approaches, he flips the handles towards her and holds them out.
Look at me.
And she's gonna take a pause and look at them, and look at Sirkin in the eyes, And she's going to slowly, I guess, take them and hold them in her hands.
These belong to my brother, Jayun. They're very special to me. I tell you this because I want you to understand the importance of the fact that I drove these through the heart of my protege. The last person I handed them over to.
So are you telling me if I don't use them correctly, you're going to kill me, or...
I'm telling you, I want you to use these to build a new destiny.
I don't know what that means.
I don't want to get into the science of it because I don't know it, but Sirkin, instead of talking about anything that just happened, he then proceeds to explain to Kit the mechanics of how the magnetism works, the X enhanced, like whatever properties that allow it to do the things that it does, because he's trying to focus her in on what can her imagination do with this tool. He's trying to just throw something, a situation she can come up with a creative solution for or work on.
Sure. So, Kit, if you need later, I can explain how they work.
Okay.
But pretty much, if you throw a dagger, you can kind of manipulate the handle of the other to...
But only if you understand waterbending to an degree. So you have to watch Avatar to use these effectively.
At least season 1, the Book of Water. Yeah, so then it can traverse back to you, to the opposite handle. So it kind of becomes a Darth Maul kind of dagger blade.
So a boomerang that's controlled by magnets.
Essentially.
Okay.
A very sharp boomerang.
Don't tell Sokka.
And so after they go into the ordeal of the mechanics, and Sirkin feels like they've it's been enough of a distraction. Man, hold on. I had it and I lost it. Shit. Oh. He says, there's been a lot of death around us and a lot of tragedy. Your world has changed in a way you can never go back from. If you try to be who you were before this, you're only hurting yourself. You're no longer that person. Be who you are now.
Being who I am now has... I was never one to harbor hatred. My father was the first person for me to show that feeling towards. And he seems to be the epicenter of that feeling. And continues to be such.
But he's home. Nan is home.
And despite those two people being my home, That's not where I want to be anymore.
Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be?
Do I have to have an answer?
Not now. But you will. And I think a piece of you already knows. Accept these?
I'll try not to fuck it up.
Circin grins. Do you need some more time, or are you ready to go back?
I don't want to delay this any longer. But this alley is probably not safe. And she like looks around to hang out in too much longer. Okay. At least I have these to protect me. And she like tries to be cool and like put it around her fingers, and she drops it, and she like looks at you.
Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me.
They take some time. Jayun once cut off Mautix's ear almost all the way. It was very funny.
You and I have a very different definition of funny.
Yeah.
And she puts them in her like behind her back, like stashed, because she doesn't want to just like walk in with them.
Is it?
And she like cleans herself up. All right, let's go.
So you re-enter the warehouse where everyone's still around the table, except as you walk in, on their faces, it looks like you missed something huge. Because you walked out just before Nan shared about the releasing the subjects of the research facility.
Yeah, I think Theo would be interviewing her at this point.
Nan?
Yeah.
All right, what do you ask?
All right, Grams, let's chat. We've got some details to work out.
Carol.
All right, Carol, let's talk about this. I'm just kidding. I'm a little stressed out and overwhelmed right now. I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions you're going to feel like you don't know the answer to, and that's okay. The key thing I want you to kind of focus on is what you may not know, what you smelt, heard, seen, felt. Aurora's a big ass town, and we need to kind of get to the bottom of this. Blatantly, can you tell us where you were?
And at this point, she kind of sits down and is wringing her hands.
And Theo is going to be watching her for any tells and ticks and...
Roll a perception.
I think Kit would have gone over and like kind of put her hand on Nan's shoulder, like just as like a comforting.
Yeah, just grounding.
Yeah.
And as you do, she reaches one hand and strokes yours and kind of sits you down next to her in a chair that you got up from. What's your perception?
2.
Okay. So she's wringing her hands and I don't quite know exactly where I came from in the city. I mean, within the facility, I I could see things, but I don't know how I got there.
Tell me about the facility. What type were the walls? Clean, dirty, metal? What was the environment like?
And in the portion that I was kept in, it was in a large cage almost. I felt like a zoo animal, but in the other areas there was across from me I saw a body floating in some fluid, and there was
Theo immediately looks at Wayland.
a row of them.
What does that mean? I didn't do it.
There was a long row of these different bodies in different shapes and sizes and forms and ages. God. And they were just suspended in this glowing green fluid. But next to me, I could hear some other sounds I couldn't see because of the wall between us, but I assumed there were other cages alongside mine and people or things within there. It felt semi-industrial.
See, that's super helpful, even though you may not realize that. You mentioned a man in a mask. What kind of mask?
He was a tall man. He had a duster on and this metallic, almost an iron mask.
The guy we killed.
Without a second thought, yeah, he's dead. You don't got to worry about him. And then Theo pauses for a moment as he's writing and tries to like glance around to see if anybody follows up with that information.
No, I'm good. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, Theo murdered him. We beat him up and then Theo murdered him. I'm not gonna say that.
And at the end of the last session, she did ask what happened to Errol Faust, because the research assistant was like,
oh, so they
wailing.
were made aware of his.
Well, she wasn't sure that it was him, but she did want to know what happened. I mean, she knows he's the arch luminary of engineering.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But was that Mr. Faust?
Yeah, he was kind of a piece of shit that made people fight for money, and then he would inject them with X for his own pleasure.
Wayland pipes up. Actually, he doesn't make them fight for money. He alludes to money. Still.
Oh, yeah, he never got paid. So he's like 3 strikes a piece of shit.
But the arch luminary of engineering is dead?
Oh, honey, they're pieces of shit. Don't.
Theo,
Yeah.
do
yeah.
you know about, you know a lot about famous people's private lives.
Theo sits back and smirks. I dabble.
Do you know any romantic liaisons with Faust?
Can I roll connection?
Sure. Actually,
7.
not
Jesus,
connection.
can't change it. It's a 7.
No, I said actually before I heard the number. This wouldn't be, this isn't like connections of who you know. This would be what you know about them.
Which would be my connections. Or resources. I'll take resources.
Resources is physical, like money or items.
You just don't
Okay.
want to roll well.
No.
I feel like it would be lore.
Yeah, give me a lore and I'll pair it with your 7 of connections.
Oh, well, my lore would only be a 3.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you know much about Errol Faust and the people he dabbles with, but that falls short of this kind of side hustle he's got going on, this side hobby. You're not as clear, but based on his interactions and like the knowledge that you have about him, maybe at a party, like maybe he's alluded to having a special someone, but you don't quite know who it was, or where that you've never seen him with anybody. But yeah, that's all you get. That's all you know.
Okay. No, that's not true. Harold Faust hired Theo to get blackmail photos of him being sexual miscreant.
Oh shit!
Harold Faust is not dead.
I've been saying the wrong name.
Yeah, you meant
We're talking Ren Jepsen.
Ren
Jepsen.
Yeah.
Wow! Hey, stream.
Retcon.
Hey, fans. Bozer's a dumbass.
We've got a lot of characters in this world.
Don't talk about my friend that way.
Yeah.
It's just been a silly, goofy morning.
Ren Jepsen. So
Arch luminary of engineering.
yeah,
Piercing green eyes.
Yeah.
Harold Faust was his prize champion. Is responsible for creating the power bands and responsible for the Royal Warehouse heist, and was killed by Theo.
Yeah.
Well,
Harold Faust was not his prize champion.
No, that was
no.
the
Alden
gold
Gold.
guy.
Alden Gold.
Open gold, yeah.
Okay.
Harold Faust is who Theo is trying to get replaced with.
Yeah. That's Archluminary of Intelligence.
Correct.
Jesus, can't keep these straight. Sorry.
That's why we keep killing them.
You want me to upload the web
Makes
so
it
we can
easier.
remind everybody how fucking convoluted this goddamn
Sure.
story is?
Sure. Yeah, so Ren Jepsen is what Nan meant last episode and what she continues to have meant throughout this discussion.
Okay.
So that's all you get on Ren Jepsen.
Jepsen, he kind of alluded at having a partner or maybe partners, but from my understanding, outside of engineering, he spent most of his time setting up fights in the Iron Corners.
Yeah, yes, this masked individual seemed more infatuated with his work than his assistant, but I can't say that was quite the same truth for this woman. She seemed obsessed with him.
Can you describe the woman for me?
Nah. She wore a white lab coat and she was small, about my size, small. She kept her hair in a bun, and she must have been mid-40s. I didn't ever catch her name. They seemed to be clear about not stating each other's names. She just called him Doctor, and he just called her... Well, he didn't call her anything.
Chauvinist. An asshole like that.
Do we know any female characters with a bun that are smart?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, with this description, not like forcing you to like get to that point, is this something that I can roll for to see if we can kind of push that envelope to see if any of us would have an idea, or...
Sure, go ahead and roll.
What am I rolling for that one?
Roll, that would be a lore. You can all roll, anybody that wants to.
Roll a lore.
Sure. The first thing that came into my head was, I wonder if it was a Knight of Axiom that was.
That was my
double.
thought process as well. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, which I kind of hope is because I got a -4, so Theo don't know shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that was all
Neutral,
negatives, and my
negative,
lore is 0.
negative. Two neutrals, 2 negatives.
You're muted,
2.
Cool. But I got the message. It's a 3.
I rolled a 3. Yes.
-2, or -1.
Regardless, well, first of all, Wayland and Theo, like, you don't know the Knights of Axiom. They're just
we don't.
a name. You never.
22 episodes, I still haven't met these fucking.
I tried.
Yeah, you tried.
The day of the Buster call, but all I saw was your goddaughter not naked.
To clarify.
But even if those that rolled well, nothing's really coming to mind. It's not connecting with
It
somebody.
could be a million people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just glad that it's not Mrs. Gold, because that's what I was afraid it was. But she would know, Nan would know who that lady is, and she didn't say that she was wearing a mask or a disguise or anything. So
Yeah, she would recognize Janessa Gold. She's not a hidden figure in Aurora.
She's a real housewife of Aurora.
Yeah, exactly. The Real Housewife.
I actually love that show. Yeah, Real Housewives of Aurora. There's some crazy women in this city.
More murder than you'd expect.
Theo was actually caught in the background of one of those episodes.
But as of last night, I was approached by that tall, bald man in white. In the middle of her frenzy, he came into the cage and put a bag over my head and escorted me out. But I could hear the sound of rushing water and some alarm going off as I exited the building.
While you were did you take an elevator? Did you stairs? Did you walk directly out into a vehicle?
We walked up one flight of stairs and through a door. As soon as I walked outside, I could hear traffic. But it didn't sound like downtown, the Prism District. It sounded a bit removed. And then I was placed into the car, and next thing I know, I was reunited with all of you.
Outside of, the smell of an uncleaned bag, because these assholes never clean those bags, did you smell anything?
Within the cage, I smelled the smell of rust and iron, but there was a wafting of something sweet. It was mingled with almost antiseptic, and I didn't recognize the smell. It's something I've never smelled before, and so it's kind of stuck to my nose. I can almost smell it now, but I can't place it.
And then up to this point, has Theo noticed a tick or anything to allude to the fact that she may not be 100% forthright?
Roll insight.
Well, that's what my perception was earlier.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
During this conversation.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Nothing's triggering a lie, or she's trying to be deceitful.
Okay.
At least from your eyes.
Well, hey, that's a start. I know, and Theo starts I don't have my right clothes. I've got a couple therapists that I would like to put you in touch with. You're gonna need to talk about this sooner rather than later.
I mean this with all due respect, but... And she looks you dead in the eye. This is not the most fucked up thing that's gone down in my life.
Theo leans forward. I know.
Amazing.
Sorry, Kit. So, she stands up again. I am going to find myself a glass of water.
Before you step away, Nan, Tobias, everybody else has already heard this speech. I am now your lawyer. You do not speak with anybody without my presence. They ask you a question, you ask for your lawyer. You do not say a word until I am there.
She looks at you, Kit. Do we trust this person?
Good to know.
Noted. Should I need your services, you'll hear from me. I am parched.
Theo turns and looks at Sirkin. What did I just sign up for?
We've
Can I
signed up for the
insight?
beginning of the end.
Can I insight on Nan?
What are you checking out for?
I just want to know if she's thirsty because of all of the talking, or if she's like under some kind of condition. If they did any kind of tangling with her.
Nice.
I feel like insight would have been a better roll than perception.
I just
Yeah,
don't know if we
probably.
have it. Oh, we do have it. Okay,
Which
good.
would have been a 4, just saying if that changes anything.
It doesn't. She was being honest.
Okay. Oh man, that's so sad. 2 positives and 2 negatives. Maybe I'm gonna use a fate point. I don't know exactly what aspect to call on. No one said it was easy as my like classic scapegoat, but it doesn't make sense here. I feel like giving up the ghost makes sense a little bit, like concealing like falsehoods or whatever, like having the idea of like, you know, you can't trick a trickster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like once a criminal, always a criminal, maybe. Like the same kind of.
Yeah, that
thing.
kind of vibe. Yeah, that kind of logic at least.
Sure.
And I'm gonna go for. Do I go for a reroll or just a +2? I'll go for a reroll. Come on, baby. Exact same roll. That's a 0. Never mind.
Yeah. It's hard to tell. She does go towards, like, she's kind of spotted last night where people went for some supplies, and so she's assuming she can find some water in there, and too proud to ask exactly where to find some water.
Yeah.
So she kind of exits the space. And,
Kid's gonna follow her.
okay.
And Theo would like to talk to Tobias at some point as well, just...
So Kit, you follow Nan into the next room.
Can I roll to see if she's out of the ordinary for me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perception, please.
Okay. 2.
I mean, you know Nan very well. You've looked upon this face thousands of times every morning since you were born. It doesn't look different. It just looks tired. Looks like she hasn't showered in a few days. There's no visible bruising or injuries on her, just her face is one that you haven't often seen. Normally there's a softness and a loving gaze. Now she just kind of looks hardened and done. I can find water myself. I don't. I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to babysit you, Nan. I know you're very capable. You've shown me that every day.
I feel like I left this life. I never intended to go back to it. There's much that you don't know about me, kitten. Things that I'm not always proud of.
Are you afraid to find out, or for me to find out?
I suppose a bit. Because I want so much better for you. I didn't ever think that I'd have a family. And I feel like the path that I was on would only end in death, whether that be my own or those I cared about. But life brought me to a new path, and I met your grandpa. And he loved me, and he showed me so much. And I was able to start a family. And it brought me you. And she cups your face. Now here I am back. All over again. And I don't know how I got here.
I don't think it's by anything that you've done. And she looks in the direction she knows her father is.
And she kind of pulls your face back to hers. Someday, if you're a mother, you'll understand. It's all what I've done.
My father's an adult. And we are more than our upbringing, even if it is a good one.
And this might trigger something that you've heard your father say exactly to you. That she says, no matter how old they get, they're always your babies. But I have a feeling that this is not time for sentimentality. It's time to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and get shit done. I feel like we're in danger. I don't think we're quite out of the woods.
How about we start with a shower? I'll set you up with one. It may not be the most relaxing, but you do have clean clothes. And while you do that, I'll get you something to eat.
That would be lovely. I smell like shit. Bad. Tobias is sitting by the pillar, still head in his hands, and kind of rocking a bit and muttering. And Theo, as you approach, you can see his face wet beneath his hands.
Theo squats down in front of him and looks around to make sure nobody is in earshot. I find you to be a despicable human being, and I am almost disgusted at the fact that the lengths that we went to save you. However, Kit, despite you, turned out to be an incredible human being, so I will go out of my way to make sure anything she needs will be taken care of, which unfortunately now includes you. With that being said, if I find out you drug anybody here or put any of them in harm's way, I will make it my life mission to make your life worse than the Golds ever did.
And through his hands, he kind of opens up and just peers at you. And almost like he's gonna say something to refute, but then just closes his hands and nods.
Pats him on the shoulder and stands up and turns, I need to go run some errands. If anybody needs me, I will be a phone call away.
Alsvid kind of steps up and mentions, so what are we supposed to do with these two?
That's a question for Kit. I do not speak for her and her family, except in a court of law.
Okay.
Give me a call and let me know where you guys end up.
Kit's walking back from the bathroom, or setting her grandma up, and she walks over to Theo and just gives him a hug. And
I think Theo would be confused.
yeah, but she's just gonna like, I'm glad you're okay.
Theo's gonna have a very split, like, so in Theo's head, his split decision is I can't hug a client, but two, he feels protective over Kit, so he does one of those like awkward like hand like. I need to go take care of some things. I will be back. And Theo is going to just kind of turn awkwardly from the situation. Because this is the first female in his life that hasn't been mad at him in a very long time.
Days. In days. Where are you going, Theo?
Wherever Molly is, she's happy.
Yeah. As Theo steps outside and once he realizes he's away from anybody, Theo would like to call his father.
So, okay. So you call, you punch in the number. When's the last time that you called this number?
It's probably been a couple weeks, but Theo's not estranged from his father by any means. He just doesn't get to see him as frequently as he would like to.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want me to quick remind you backstory?
I'm looking at it, and to my understanding, you didn't know where he was.
I mean, who amongst us knows where our dad is?
Kit. Yeah.
Feel like you should have seen that one coming. Yeah, that was on me.
He's turning into a sperm donor at this point.
Discord.
Thank you. Player question, because this is your story beat. My plan, Sirkin was going to follow you out to have a quick word with you before you leave. Do you mind if I overhear the conversation? Cool.
Theo is weirdly close to Sirkin at this point, so for this information to be, which is actually very beneficial. So,
all right. So, yeah, you punch in the number and you call your father.
Does he answer?
Just before you feel like it's going to go to voicemail, hello?
Hey, Dad, it's Theo. And I think at this point is when he would feel Sirkin's presence as he was turned around and it just goes white.
Hey, it's been a couple days, weeks. I'm losing track.
Yeah. You know that promise I made you about leaving the gold alone?
What did you do?
I broke that promise a lot. It'll be over soon. You'll have a life back.
I feel like it's been so long that I don't even know what that means.
We'll make sure that you find a new one. Just wanted to let you know that it won't be much longer. And I ran into someone not too long ago.
Yeah?
She's with Tabitha now. She's safe.
Wait.
Yeah.
Do you mean Liana?
Yeah. she's doing, you know, that typical stupid college age shit, but she's okay.
It's funny that somehow you skipped that stage.
Yeah, well, when your dad's a career criminal and your mother's a cunt, you kind of get robbed of a few things.
Well, if only Aurora thought the same of your mother that we do.
Don't worry, that'll change soon as well. I love you, Dad. I'll be in touch soon.
Hey.
Yeah.
I love you too. I trust you. And I need more supplies soon.
I'll send my guy Al over with some stuff.
One day I'll get to take care of you again.
Don't worry about that, Dad. We'll get that drink soon. And Theo just hangs up the phone.
Does Sirkin know who your mom is?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
Theo would be very hush hush.
Sure.
Oh fuck! Now I gotta remember backstory. Do they share the same name?
I was looking that up.
Hold, please. No, you would know. Theo.
She would probably, because her last name's hyphenated, so
Correct.
she would have dropped the second.
You think she would have?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Then no, Sirkin does not.
Okay.
I have theories. Britt has theories, not Kit. But I have theories now.
Oof.
So
I had a theory, and it makes what's gonna happen next gonna feel like a big swing. Go for it. After getting off the phone, like obviously, as somebody who pulls over to talk on the phone, he waits for Theo to put the phone all the way away. I don't know where you're going, but I have a request.
Theo's gonna probably dry his eyes from tears. Yeah. What do you need?
Sirkin makes a point of not noticing that he did it.
They're both just awkwardly looking downward in opposite
It's like, yeah.
directions.
Mhm.
Kids watching from the window. What are your dad's doing?
My dad's. I've made her an honorary Sirocco now.
That's terrifying. Hate to see where this goes.
We all said I was going to turn into a mini Sirkin.
Theo, I have to ask you not to do what I know you want to do more than anything.
I'm
not
a
go
man of
to
my
the funeral.
word, Sirkin. I'm not. I don't know if you ever pieced this together that our dads were fairly close.
I knew they worked together, yes.
After Kieran failed to kill him and my mother failed to imprison him, I made sure to get him away from this as far as I can. I need you to understand, I will not stop until Kieran. I don't even know how I want to put him behind bars.
We will take Kieran off the table. Someday. But I need you to leave them for right now. Allow Janessa to bury her child. She may not be perfect, but she did care for me and my brothers. In her way.
I assure you that the goals are not on my to-do list at the moment.
Good. So what do you plan to do now?
Quinn is a was a very personal friend. I need to go make arrangements, and I need to go find a place for her son.
Stay in touch.
I will. I'll be back by day's end.
We should have a plan ready by then.
Thank you, Sirkin.
You're welcome.
Theo's going to completely like change mood. I did not think I was going to say something. And before it gets too awkward, Theo is just going to turn and walk away.
See, Theo turned too fast and didn't see Sirkin start opening his arms for a hug.
And then he does that awkward turn around. We're like, and then they both just turn and walk away.
Right.
And as a reminder to our audience, Quinn was one of your people that were helping in the warehouse or the conservatory
Correct.
that was felled in the attack.
But yeah, Theo plans to go to Max's to get clothes so he can go back to his old ways. And then he needs to go to the morgue and then Quinn's home. So if we want to do scenes,
Okay,
that is what Theo is off to go do.
got it. Okay, so you head off towards your home.
Which is
And
currently
Sirkin-
locked down due to, an assassination attempt.
Yeah, it's like half of it's blown out, but whatever. And Sirkin, you head back inside.
Mm-hmm. And I walk up to Wayland. I owe you an apology.
Sirkin's just saying all kinds of heinous things today.
What for, Sirkin?
What I took from you. Not just your arm, or just your hand, but Sigurd's reach. Yesterday, I killed the closest thing I'll ever have to a son. And I realize I took away all of your sons, as it were.
I don't see it like that. I made decisions. I trusted in my allies, and although I maybe knew that putting Uriah in his father's place was a mistake, I'm an old man. I didn't think it was wise to sit on that chair. How long would I have in it before they just had to replace me? I thought my time better spent to maybe take Uriah and guide him away from his machinations and towards the vision of his father, but that was my mistake. I put a child in power that had no idea what to do with it. And I lost my hand, and I lost my family because of it. Now, what you did may have given me an opportunity to do that. I have sat and I've stewed and I have learned a lot about what it's like to be on the other side of Sigurd's Reach and what it's become, maybe what it always was a problem. And I knew that I was going to have to clean it up before I died. And now I'm in this mess, and I feel like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, Sirkin. And it's not going to be easy. But I just don't feel like I can leave the world yet. I can't leave this place yet with all of this guilt. Hold your apologies and let's just fix this fucking mess.
Let's fix this mess. And Sirkin holds his left hand out to shake.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I clasp. I thought Austin just can't help but like make jokes in tense situations. I was like, Sirkin, Waylon goes fist bump. Oh.
And Nan comes out, tossing her hair with a towel back in her overalls. Let's fix this mess.
I cover Sirkin's eyes.
She's back in her clothes. She's not naked in a towel.
Doesn't matter.
She's in a-
Point still holds true.
Wait, she's fully clothed and in a towel?
She's like drying her hair,
Oh,
but she's got her overalls.
Hold on, I need to know, what type of haircut does Nan have?
It's pretty, like, when it's wet, it kind of falls down about shoulder length, but like in a low poof. But as she's
Is it
drying
red
it,
curls like Kit's is as well?
no, they're not red. They're kind of a pinkish gray at this point because it's like the red had faded to.
Gotcha.
But when it's dry, it kind of like it's tucked back with
It's like a helmet.
a headband, but behind her is this big bushy.
I get it. She's hot. Sirkin's right.
yeah. Sirkin winks at her.
Yeah. Yeah, Sirkin's right.
Then looks to Bias. That's right, son.
She's like walking straight towards you, Sirkin. Fear makes everyone the same size.
Indeed it does.
Wise words.
Wise words that came to me in a moment I needed them. And they've served me well since.
Best not forget them, Cupcake. Pats you on the face.
Nope, pats him on the butt.
Don't call me
Great point.
Cupcake, and I won't call you Cake.
Oh, now they're just flirting. God damn it.
I could be your mother.
Oh, stop it. You're making it worse.
Say it, Josh. You know you want to.
Do it. Don't you dare do it.
Stepmother, maybe.
Oh my god. Damn it. I hate this.
Even worse.
Wow! What do you do if your stepmother's stuck under a sexy bed?
Why is it a sexy bed?
Why is she
Wait,
stuck?
have you ever? Okay, wait a second. Pause. Have you ever entered a? Okay, you entered this room.
Yeah.
You look over to the one side. There's posters on the wall, right? You look over to the other side. There's some nice furniture, and then in the middle of the room is the sexiest bed you've ever seen.
Austin's really kink shaming right now.
No, I think he's leaning
I
into
can
it.
describe it to you if you want.
Yes,
no, don't tell me about
Yes.
your sexy
I
bed.
have never
Yes.
wanted something more.
It's got clean sheets, a really
Rubber
nice
sheets.
duvet.
Because let's be honest, we know Josh
Oh.
has fucking read smut out loud to somebody before, and I need to know when and where I can find
Oh.
that information.
He's read a romantic novel on Audible or two.
Zirkin's narrated several erotic novels. He's famous in the audiobook
He
scene.
writes that.
You guys didn't search Zirkin's house hard enough.
It's the lack of inflection that does it for me.
His library is just his own personal works under different pseudonyms. This one's my favorite.
So, I'm clean. What's next?
Yeah, that's the big question. What's next? The golds are everywhere, and they're thirsty for blood.
Everyone just let Theo leave, and I think that's the funniest thing in the world.
Bye.
I think that before we step into what we're this mess we've already made. Before we step deeper into it, I think that we need to figure out like where everyone stands on their future. Where do people want to be? How can people live? What's that? Look around. This has been my life for the past year. Are you prepared to live like this? What are you willing to sacrifice for the greater good? Or are you guys trying to get deals? Are you guys trying to sell people out? Are you guys going into witness protection? Like what's your play in this? What do you see yourself getting out of this? Because we can't move chips around the board unless we know that they're actually pieces. This is specifically directed at Kit and Nan before it's Sirkin. I know Sirkin is knee deep in the shit.
Kit, where are you currently? You're there in the room?
I probably walked in from the kitchen.
Okay. I personally would love to be sitting on my couch, eating a bowl of soup, watching my stories. But I feel like that option is off of the table. And now my concern is keeping my family safe. Whatever that means. I prefer that... And she looks at you, Kit. You were on that couch, joining me, but... It appears that being capable runs very much in the family, with an exception or two, and looks over at Tobias.
Damn.
Hashtag we hate Tobias.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Oof. So, I will give that question to the most capable member of our family.
I don't want... I tag out. I don't want that question. No thanks.
And she comes over to you and grabs your hands. It's not a fair question, I know. But unfortunately, it's one that you must answer, whether you like it or not.
You guys, we are essentially stepping into what feels like a war. And we have little to no resources. Sirkin, maybe it's time I go back home. Maybe we need to do that first. It's not the army that the Golds have, but it'd be taking a battalion away from them. Sorry,
connection. Oh, it's resources and connections. If we get Sigurd's Reach back under your control and work with the Knights of Axiom, we may be able to stand a chance against whatever creatures are about to be unleashed on the city.
Yeah, I hadn't considered the Knights. I still don't know where I sit with them. I haven't talked to them directly, but if you trust them, then that's worth a shot.
I'll introduce you to Bubbled.
I think the Knights might be the safest. I think the Knights might be the safest place for Nan.
The who now?
I think
organization that we are helping out.
I think, well, it's hard to establish a terrorist organization as a terrorist organization because if they're fighting with terror against terror, it feels more like a rebellion than a terrorist organization. Austin says all this. Wayland goes, indeed.
It's all about branding.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think Wayland's perspective would be, from what I gather, your father is allies with them.
That's what you want to, if that's what you want to call him.
Your roommate,
Sperm donor.
Oof.
your landlord, is allies with them. So, I guess we don't need to like what he's done or who he is, as long as he gets us in the door, and we have a parlay with the knights. That's a good first step, and then I can muster my courage to go walk through the doors down the halls of my old building and see if we can work from that angle too. So I guess knights first, and then
The Knights also have a war room in their base with maps of the city and tunnels. The intel could be invaluable, combined with what you know of the city and its secrets.
yeah, okay. Yeah, attacking from two fronts. Not to mention, if we can get Reach off of the Gold's payroll, it's expanding our influence while mitigating theirs. Like taking a chip away.
I also believe the knights will have insight, maybe a little bit more, to the
Oh my
uses
God.
of X, and maybe have an idea of what they're doing in the underground lab.
I just remembered, and I can't believe this keeps slipping my mind, but those fucking freaks are loose on the city. I got a close-up of what,
you did.
of what they can do, and that's terrifying. You know what? I know that Theo already activated the light guard, but maybe actually we should run to the Knights of Axiom. And I just I kind of turn tail and I just yell for Tobias. And I won't have him introduce, but I run for Tobias. And call to him because I think we need to speak to the Knights like fucking yesterday. Now that I'm thinking about it.
So as you call out and he looks up, he's been sitting there on a pillar just a short distance away, hearing all of this, almost like in a pool of his own self-pity as memories have flooded back over him, drowning him almost. And as you call out, there's a bit of a pause, and then you hear him kind of bring himself to his feet, and he steps forward.
Yeah.
I don't deserve forgiveness. I don't deserve to be your father. I don't deserve to be your son. But I don't know that, Tobias. I don't want to be that, Tobias.
Good.
I don't care how long it takes. I'll do whatever you need. I can get you in.
Do you know, is there any entry points from the Iron Quarters?
I know there's several scattered throughout the city, and I do know of one, yes.
Okay, let's go. Let's go right now. Let's go 10 minutes ago.
Hurry. Are you all ready?
Ready. Carol, do you need carried?
She cracks her neck. I'm fine.
Her foot wasn't actually ever broken.
Please.
Foot wasn't ever broken. She's actually, her power level is too high to break her foot like that.
Before we leave unarmed, Mr. Wayland, was it?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have in this bitch?
Yes! Fucking Carol! Get it!
Okay. Waylon doesn't use guns, but that doesn't mean he hasn't taken any. I think it's only fair that instead of me manifesting weapons that I'll roll a terrible roll, because I definitely won't have anything good there. What is it?
Give me your resources, yeah.
Okay, here it goes. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna pre give a +2 to this. Once a criminal, always a criminal.
Nice.
Because I
Hell
know it's
yeah.
gonna be trash.
Smart.
It's good to be self-aware.
Oh, okay, cool. That's
Breaks the game again. 11.
No, it's a net positive, but I have a 0, so it's a 3.
All right. So if you were to keep those kinds of things in a certain place, where would it be?
I reckon it's got to be like a fuse box that I've emptied out or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Some kind of like redundancy electrical panel
Sure.
that I would stuff in. So, yeah, you can narrate what is in it, but that's where it would be.
Okay. So
Check
a
under the
smaller.
sexy bed.
I've been fooled by that trick before.
Oh my
No, not how Tobias was conceived under a sexy bed, getting her shoulders stuck.
I don't know how Britt has stuck with this goddamn show.
Don't either.
It's called selective hearing.
What'd you say?
Exactly. So a smaller space. So you go to the fuse box and open it up. With a 3, I would say there's nothing crazy inside, but if anybody needed like a small like blunt object,
Bazooka.
some sort of sharp object, you could find maybe like 2 or 3 items inside.
Is there a revolver?
Just one.
I mean, come on, Nan.
And she like gives you a glance, Sirkin. Well, if no one else will, and she grabs it and runs it up her arm and shoves it in like a back pocket of her overalls.
I give Sirkin a juice box because I think he might have lost some blood.
I was just about to say, he's glad he doesn't wear glasses because they'd be fogged up.
Insert nosebleed anime meme here. Anybody else grabbing anything? There's probably maybe some like knuckles. There's with some spikes on the end. There's one knife.
If only I had my other gun.
Where's Al?
Al, do you need anything?
I'm good.
I found this great gun.
I don't know, but something about that guy I really like. I just trust him inherently, you know?
I'd trust him with my firearms if I could, but I don't know where they are.
If I could find it.
All right, so if y'all have what you need, Tobias is waiting at the door, and he pokes his head out just to get a scope of the place. Sees that there's no one around. And he's like looking at the landscape, like almost the buildings around him.
At the Cloudscape.
Yeah. And he like listens. And he can tell by the sound, because once you get to the edge of the city, there's this kind of loud hum of the cloud turbines at the base of the city that are constantly bringing the clouds in around the city, not letting them form above the city, lest the toxicity of the raw sodicium within them could harm the residents. And so he can tell that he's towards the edge. Yes. I think, and he's looking for a landmark. Yeah, it's I think it's just a few blocks. It's got to be a few blocks this way. And you follow
as we walk. I want to Sirkin walks next to Tobias. And quietly, they might be able to hear it, but Sirkin doesn't care. Do you have more on you? Alluding to the X that he took. Yeah.
He knows exactly what you mean. Yeah. And he kind of looks behind to see how far Kit is. I did take a couple vials back at the cafe. She was concerned about me. I only used one.
Good to know. We may need it.
I don't plan to touch this stuff ever again. I meant to.
Sirkin holds his hand out.
Later, not here.
Deal. You and I should talk later.
Yes, suppose I've got plenty of that in my future.
Indeed.
And he leads you through like the edge of the city, and you can tell by his direction that he thinks it's this way. No, it's not quite. And he's looking back at that landmark building, an oddly shaped, taller building on this side of the city, and listening and kind of looking around. And it takes some time, but eventually, you find this bakery with this kind of striped awning. And he's like, yes. Okay, we're close. And he positions himself so he's directly across from the bakery, and then turns around and looking up at this like straight up brick wall between these two other businesses. And he's looking and reaches in his pocket and pulls out a small pouch. And then he's looking around at the wall and okay. And he kind of does a quick glance to see if anybody's around and waits for a car to pass. And then quickly dabs his finger in the small pouch and connects the eye shape in this faint marking that you can just barely make out. And as soon as it does, the brick kind of presses in a doorway shape and then slides to the left. Quickly, inside.
Willing to go first.
So he all ushers you in quickly. And then slides the brick and places it back. Okay. We should be safe. And you enter into this dark stairway that leads downward. There's a very dim light just along the edge of the staircase. almost like faint LEDs.
Wayland has dark vision.
And it's bright as day for Wayland.
It's magical darkness. Sucks to suck.
And you head down, once again, 4 flights of stairs. And on this particular part of the city, the further you go, that humming that you heard outside, that you almost forget about because it's just part of the world, it's growing louder and louder. And when you reach the base of the stairs, 4 flights down, it's almost like it's a wall away. You could almost touch one of the walls and feel the vibration of some mechanical machine at work. You exit into the door, and there's a tunnel that goes far to the right and far to the left. I apologize, but my memory is foggy. I want to say left, but I only came through this way once.
Can we just roll to see how much time we lose following this Nimrod?
When I was in the Knights of Axiom lair and I was shown the map of all the
when you're on
tunnels.
Supreme X?
Yeah. Is there a roll I can have to like recall knowledge of if I can kind of place where we are?
Go ahead and roll lore.
Lore. That is, oh fuck yeah, that is a 4.
God damn it.
3
Nice.
pluses and a blank.
So that's a great on the scale. It takes you just a moment to picture that map in your mind, place where you are, do some like triangulation with where you are.
Limitless moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you're pretty certain that left is the right direction.
This
Let's
way.
go right.
And Sirkin leads the way.
So you're walking, and it takes, you're walking for like 20 minutes down this pathway, and eventually you do come across a cart that was left at a previous exit.
Like a minecart?
Like one of those little golf carts that Sirkin and Kit had used previously to navigate the tunnels.
Like
I
an
thought we were gonna
airport
have to
luggage
freaking-
go-kart.
I thought we were gonna have to freaking shimmy.
Yeah. So with the use of that cart, it does speed up the process, and as you get closer to the headquarters of the Knights of Axiom, it's coming back to both Sirkin and Tobias a little quicker. And as you round a corner, you see kind of this warm glow in the distance as you head towards it.
Sirkin goes, "It's the most wonderful time of the year."
As you're heading towards this warm light, Tobias kind of slows up and stops, and he turns and faces you all. Yeah. There's going to be some suspicion about you two specifically, looking at Waylon and Theo.
Theo's not there.
Theo's not there.
Oh, yes. Fuck. God. Forgot. Looking at you, Wayland.
Probably Sirkin again, too.
Probably.
My best friend lives here.
So just go with the punches and we'll vouch for you.
I'm really good at punching.
And he drives onward towards the Knights of Axiom headquarters. Meanwhile, Theo, you headed towards home. When you arrived, you found the place kind of surrounded by some caution tape. But at this point, the investigation had been pretty much completed. They found whatever they needed to find.
Have the cleaners come in yet?
Like outside your place, there's no more like wreckage and rubble.
I mean, like inside. Like, is there still like the blood stain from?
Yeah. There's still a dark spot on, like, towards the outside of the wall, where there's no brain matter, but
Well, that's a plus.
He says out loud to himself.
Yeah, Theo kind of just moves past the tape. Kind of probably just tears it down, to be honest. And kind of as he walks into and just kind of looks around. What the fuck has this week been? What the fuck, bro? And he walks over, pours himself a drink from probably the one bottle that didn't get broken because everything else has been shattered.
yeah, you find, like, they're all kind of shattered, and there's this.
It's not even a good
like
bottle.
half
It's
of a
fucking
bottle.
Will.
It's kind of like shattered, but there's still at the bottom half of it. There's still a little bit of liquid, dark liquid.
I mean, I know I wanted to fucking revamp the place, but Jesus, or fucking whatever God is here. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Theo is just gonna kind of head upstairs and open up his closet so he can go find a 3-piece suit, which is intended to be his whole going back to Theo and not whatever fucking monstrosity that became in the last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Theo's gonna kind of go through, grab his thing, but specifically on his way out the door, he grabs a set of keys, and he heads to the back garage, where he pulls out an old Lincoln.
Cool.
Can I make it turd brown
No,
with a fade plate?
denied.
What color is it?
Mallard duck.
Silver.
So, how did Theo manage to get an old world car into the Cloud City of Aurora?
So this is probably something that he had rebuilt, because this was actually a vehicle that his father had a long, long time ago. It's probably not the exact vehicle, but he wanted something that was just like his dad's.
Cool. Okay. So you jump in your remake. And where do you head?
It heads to the morgue.
So, the morgue would be at the nearest hospital. We'll call it Aurora General.
I gotta say, while we're in a lull, when you did that little laugh to yourself, it reminded me of the "you want to see how anime I can be." You did that little. Let me show you how anime I can be.
Tilts fedora.
Yeah. That's anyway. Just reminded me
Fedora,
that.
of course, Fedora. And yeah, you roll up to Aurora General.
So yeah, Theo's probably been to the morgue before in his line of work, and probably just gonna kind of like beeline towards that way. I do have a question though. How many bodies would Theo be familiar with that are currently in the morgue at this moment in time?
Well,
'Cause I know they pop in at this moment.
piling up, but as is the nature of a morgue, civilians don't normally just waltz right in. You might be able to navigate. You go ahead and roll connections
Oh darn!
to see how easily you can get
Is it really
through
bad? Is it 4 negatives?
to the morgue.
Nope.
I love it when people laugh when they roll.
Oh, that's a 6.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's not Theo's first time to the morgue, and you kind of you go through like the general lobby. You immediately bypass reception.
Winks at a few nurses.
And you get to a door where it would normally you need like an ID card, and there's a doctor that kind of sees you coming and gives you like, really? And he'd like nods off towards the morgue, almost like in a question, like, is that where you're headed? and he's from his little lanyard, like.
But Theo steals flowers from the outside of a room on his way down.
And then he gives you another, like, really? Scans the ID, and you push through the door and navigate through. At this point, since you're on this side, you get less questions because people assume that if you're on that side of the door, you're supposed
There's
to
a
be.
reason.
Yeah.
That's
You
Theo's
go.
mantra. Act like you're supposed to be there. Nobody says shit.
You go to an elevator on this side of the building. Enter, hit the lower basement level, and you head down a couple stories, and the doors open up into a well-lit but very cleanly. It's almost like sterile. Is the word I'm looking for. Area, and there's a hallway that leads left and right, but directly in front of you is a set of 2 metal double doors.
While Theo is walking, he does shoot a text off to the commander to ask the name of the survivor from the greenhouse.
The commander takes a minute.
Because realistically, this is where he would be at. So while Theo, when in Rome, is going to go get answers if possible. So I don't really need name, but I don't really need a backstory.
I'm trying to remember. I didn't make a note.
It was the one that Tobias didn't take the X from.
Oh, the survivor. That survivor.
From the greenhouse, yeah.
Got it. I was looking at your associates.
No. Specifically, whoever lived from the greenhouse incident. Because you said they were injured, so Theo would go see them in the hospital.
Well, they would be not here on this.
Well, obviously not in the morgue, but they would be in the hospital. So Theo's going to make a pit stop on his way out.
With that text, roll rapport, and I'll let you know if you get an answer.
Was that charisma we changed?
Yeah.
To?
Rapport charisma, sure.
I can still make that work. -2 + 1, that still comes out to a 4.
What? Jesus, your character build is crazy.
I do things that I am good at. Fight? No, that's not what I got.
Sometimes I do things that I'm good at and I still fail.
And then sometimes you break the game, so
And
it
sometimes I
balances
do.
out.
Sometimes I do break the game though. Something about me is sometimes I do break the game.
You don't get a reply right away.
Oh, I didn't expect it to be.
So above those double doors there's a label of morgue.
Theo does hesitate before walking into the room. Is the mortician there?
There are 2 small vertical windows on either double doors. Roll perception.
Perception or insight?
Perception.
That's a +1, a -1, and then perception +1, so just 1.
You glance around and you kind of peek in the window real quick and you don't see anybody.
Okay. Then Theo just walks in.
As you enter, it's kind of a large room with a few different slabs in the middle of it. But along the back wall, there are 2 rows of small steel doors.
Would Quinn be out, or would she be in one of the...
Currently, there's nobody on the slabs.
Okay. Then I'm going to need probably, perception to see if I can find the information to know which...
Actually, give me
she's in.
Is there an investigate?
Yeah, there's
Yes, there is investigate. Yeah. I'm better at that. Thanks. 2, 3, 4, -1, so 3.
With a quick stroll past the doors, you see these small paper tags on string hanging from each of the handles. And as you're perusing them, eventually you do find one It says, Gaines, Quinn.
Tears begin to stream down Theo's face as he pops open the door and pulls out the slab.
And you're met with the shape of a body underneath a long white sheet.
Did we determine like how Quinn was killed? Was she just bludgeoned because of the power?
Yeah, she was just fighting a Sigurd's Reach member, and they were kind of triple teaming, but then it was
like a 3v3, and then they lost one, and then
it was 3v2, then 2-on-2, and then eventually.
I guess so. When Theo pulls like the sheet back, like how, I guess like is she deformed? Or is it more like internal bleeding type things that?
As you pull the sheet back, you're met by a female, mid-30s, some bruising on her face, but her neck is slightly turned in an unnatural position. And she's pale and white.
Supposed to find me this way, not the other way around. I'm so sorry, Quinn. None of this was supposed to go this way. I've made a lot of mistakes, and you unfortunately seem to be the recipient of a lot of those. I'm so sorry. And as Theo kind of lays the flowers down, just kind of covers the sheet back over her. I don't know where. I'll make sure your boy gets a good home. He won't worry about anything ever.
At that moment, the double doors to the morgue open up, and this younger individual in a white coat with some headphones just comes like bopping in, and like as he turns around, he sees you. What? Pulls him down. Dude, you can't be in here.
Theo shuts the slab and then walks out of the morgue.
And he's just like agape and aghast as he's walking past. Did you do some fucked up shit in here, bro?
Theo turns on his heels and gets into his face. What the fuck did you just say to me?
I mean, you're not authorized. Like, you don't have an ID. What are you doing?
Do I look concerned about your opinion?
Maybe you should be.
Maybe you should learn who I am and watch who you're speaking to.
Yeah, well, I'm Drew.
Theo corrects himself. Theo Maxwell. I'm sorry. I should not have come off that way.
Yeah, like I work here, see? And he holds up a badge.
Theo pulls out one of his business cards. I was close friends with Quinn's. I needed to say goodbye. Whoever comes to verify the remains, let them know the funeral arrangements are on me, please.
Oh, you mean the kid?
Is he here?
Yeah, he was just sitting here.
Where is he?
And I brought him in and I guess showed him the body. And why am I telling you this? I took him up to the lobby and
Theo pats him on the shoulder and runs off.
Okay, Mr. Maxwell, looking at the card. I'm going to tell my supervisor.
And Theo's goal is to go try to find the kid.
So you head back to the elevator. You head back up to the ground level. And you navigate towards the lobby. And roll a perception.
about investigate so I can find him?
If you're like physically,
Doesn't matter.
Moving
That's
things.
4 positives. So with perception +1, that's a 5.
Listen.
so yeah, you like quickly navigate the room, and you look over. You see people in some worse shape. You see there's like families huddled together. You see some people like really impatiently sitting and like looking up at the reception, waiting for their name. And then you see a boy, about 13, sitting alone, just looking like down at the floor, kind of despondent.
Theo just plops down next to him.
He doesn't say anything.
You weren't supposed to be the one to identify her.
And he looks at your shoes. I see you.
I'm sorry, bud. This is on me.
You know, I thought when you guys broke up, she would finally be safe.
She was supposed to be.
But then you couldn't leave her alone. You made that damn phone call. And of course, Theo calls, you go running.
I don't really know what to say here.
No? You want to say, I'm sorry? You want to say, I'm sorry for breaking my mother's fucking heart? Or breaking my mother's fucking neck?
I'll make sure the funeral arrangements are covered.
What? And he stands up and he looks down at you. I don't want one more fucking thing from you, dude. The debt's been paid. I want you out of my life. For good this time. I don't want to see you on the fucking news, being heralded as some hero. I don't want to see one more person raise your name, say, God, if you even knew how many people in my apartment building talk about you. As if you're not a ruiner of lives. I'll take care of it. You hear me? I don't need you.
Theo stands up and rebuttons his jacket. Your sister should be here, or your aunt should be here shortly. Good luck, kid. And Theo is going to walk off.
Where do you head?
Depends. Did the commander text back?
Yes.
Theo is going to find a nurse to find said name's room.
With that damn 6 connections you rolled earlier, you kind of scan the area and you find a familiar nurse.
Her name's Felicia.
Mr. Maxwell.
Hey, Felicia.
And what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm looking for somebody. I need the room for
Does it
insert
rhyme with
character's name.
Talisha?
Maybe next time, hun. Today's not the day.
I'm patient. Plus, I'm working a double, so Roy Montoya? Yeah.
Yeah.
He came looking pretty messed up. Was that your doing?
No. I need that's why I'm here. I need to help him determine why that happened so he can fix his life and get a good payout so he can move on to better things.
Yes. I didn't know you were the fixer for the Gold family. Looks like you're moving up in the world.
Theo balls a fist and then tucks his hand back into his pocket.
Ooh.
Gotta do what you gotta do to pay bills, huh?
Don't I know it? And hits you with like a clipboard. Down the hall, on the right, 206. Call me.
As soon as I can. And Theo's gonna do that like awkward like heel toe like pass through as he awkwardly walks by her. Is his room have light guard like, or is he by himself?
At this point, you kind of turn the corner, and on a chair, there's like a few chairs sitting across from his room, and there is one light guard sitting, looking pretty bored at the moment, but they're on duty.
I'm gonna roll connection just to establish if I know this guy or if he's just gonna be somebody. Sure. That makes a 6.
I just don't know how you're always rolling positive.
It
That's what I
counteracts
just
with
can't-
those -4s. Why do you think I push for connection, charisma, and resource so much?
So, you know him, but you remember the last time you met, you did not leave on good terms.
Oh, it's that fucker?
Sloan Bright.
If it isn't the son of a bitch who likes to put guns to the back of people's skulls.
No, that was different.
Oh shit! Which one's Sloan?
It's not one that's you've met in the campaign, but
Oh, gotcha.
But
What's
you know
my,
him.
what's my backstory?
the last time you met, you embarrassed him in front of his captain,
Well, maybe he shouldn't be so shit at his job.
and so he got demoted from it, and that's how he got placed here on like guard duty for a fucking hospital.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
You've got to be kidding me.
Sloany boy, how you doing?
Bored as fuck. How are you?
Great. How about you go take a break?
How about you go take a walk?
I am walking to go talk to my client.
That's not your client.
You gonna tell me?
He stands up. Yeah, I am.
So I want to clarify that you are denying me rights to go see my client. You want me to just call Orin now to see how far we can knock you down the ladder, or... Because at this point, if you're on fucking security guard duty, I don't know where the fuck else they're going to put you.
Roll intimidation or provoke.
Fuck, intimidation only 1. I'm going to go ahead and use can't make everyone happy here to try to give myself a little boosty boost there. 3, 4, -1, so that's a 3.
I didn't think he called for a lawyer.
Man, good thing they don't pay you to think, huh? It's never been your strong suit, has it?
And he like gets close to your ear.
Love when you talk dirty to me.
One day, we're gonna meet, and I'm not gonna be in this uniform.
Can't wait, bud. And I kiss him on the cheek.
He wipes it off. 5 fucking minutes.
Oh, outstanding.
And I walk into the room and shut the blinds.
So you see this person they're kind of pale as a ghost. And they're just staring like at the ceiling. His hands are shaking a little bit. And he's got like some bandages around his midriff.
Is there a can I use a fate point to say there's a lab coat hanging up?
Sure.
Nice.
My goal is with the lab coat and the clipboard. I would like to perjure myself, please.
You would like to what?
I'm going to impersonate being a doctor here.
Such an glory.
Love it. Okay. Roll deception. Roll a deceive.
Do I get a bonus for having a coat?
I lowered the.
Plus
I
two.
rolled.
Okay.
Lowered the DC essentially.
Oh fuck! That's only 1 + 1, and then a lot of neutrals. Oh, that's a 3.
So he's like staring up at the ceiling. His hands are shaking a bit. He doesn't really say anything, but you don't get a feeling that he is wary of you.
And what was his name again?
His was Roy Montoya.
So Theo's gonna like stand at kind of at the foot of the bed, like flip open the thing at the end of the bed, whatever the fucking doctor bullshit is that they use for patient
Yeah,
info.
the chart.
Yeah, the chart. And Theo's just gonna kind of start quickly rolling.
We're selling this impersonation.
Oh, Roy. Oh, ooh. Coming down off Sodicium. That's never a fun one, huh? And seeing how you're looking now, it's not looking great there, huh, bud? How you feeling?
Great.
Yeah, I bet. And Theo's gonna walk over to the monitors and start like adjusting vials or adjusting quantities of things. Theo's not actually doing it. He's just trying to like sleight of hand to make him think he's
like, is he going to kill this man?
Depends if he gives me the answers I want. We'll see.
I've been hitting this button for an hour.
I'm gonna be honest. I've got a work order in for that one. It sticks sometimes. So like you think you're pushing the button, but like it's kind of like cut under the plastic. So like you pressed it, but like the nurses, they've been dealing with this for so long because it's stuck. It's got that like perpetual red light going. So they just assume it's malfunctioning. What do you need, bud? I'll make sure to go get that for you.
I need pain meds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did somebody call Mr. Gold yet?
Kieran Gold is who you need to contact?
Yes, please.
Is he your in case of emergency?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Man, you must be pretty important to have Kieran Gold as your ICE, huh?
Yeah, I work for him.
Yeah, what do you do? I gotta ask these guys because I gotta make sure you don't have any like brain swelling. So we gotta make sure like you're still there. It's gonna really help determine like what I'm able to prescribe you right now to kind of help get through this episode.
I clean.
I would like to roll insight for lying to me.
Go ahead.
Fuck yes, that's a 4.
Yeah, he is intentionally.
Is he a cleaner?
He's a cleaner. He
Okay.
cleans up Kieran's messes. Wink,
Oh, you're a
wink.
cleaner. Wink, wink.
Okay.
Listen, bud, I'm pretty close with Kieran. I understand the organization. You don't have to be so coy.
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Maxwell.
You're not like the last doctor that came in.
Good. He just went home for the day. He had a family emergency, so I'm here on these rounds to kind of help out.
It wasn't a man.
Yeah, women can be doctors too. And do you have some swelling? Do you?
And you see him like furiously pushing the button.
Theo's gonna go over and grab his wrist. Hey, I told you, I'll make sure you get that medicine that you need. And I would like to like sleight of hand that like I'm adjusting the drip.
Roll one more deception.
My goal is I want to fear him into just giving me answers. Oh shit. That's only a 2 because that was +2 -2. So, and if I need to, I will invoke the end justifies the means.
I think
I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be a +4.
Okay.
That puts me down. Am I at 2 or 3 fate points right now?
You're at
2,
1.
right?
Do you start with 4?
I thought I started with 5 due to the last upgrade, unless I misunderstood.
Yeah, I think he has a reshift.
5.
Well, I have 4. So I've got 4 stunts.
When I put them all back, I think I reallocated wrong. So
I believe I'm at 2. I just want to make sure you and I
that would be
are
at
the
2.
same.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
As he sees you like shifting something, you kind of feel his hand relax a bit. You think that feels better already?
See, I told you, but just take a breath. We're gonna get through. I just got a couple questions. Make sure cognitively where you need to be at, your response levels. But I need you to be candid with me here. I can't be trying to guess what you're actually trying to tell me here.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said, I'm familiar with your line of work. And Theo's going to kind of like look around to make sure, like, to help sell the bit that, like, I'm on your side.
Mm-hmm.
The greenhouse, right? You were involved in that.
And he also kind of looks around. But his eyes are just like always wide, as if like he almost like petrification, like something occurred to him that is
Spoopy.
was not okay. Yeah.
Hey, now you made it out? You're a lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, sure enough. Nobody else did.
I know.
I acted dead until they left.
That was probably the best thing you could have done. Where was Kieran or Haven having you go after all of this?
What'd you say your name was?
To Dr. Maxwell.
He like stares at your face. And then we were gonna take the package back to the Gould's house.
Back to the Gold's house is where they were all supposed to finish up.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Anything else? Again, I know this sounds super dumb and you're probably like, why am you asking me open-ended questions? Like, I have the information. I just need to know that you are remembering this. Because if you have brain swelling, we gotta get you to surgery. So this is the only way I'm going to know if you are healing properly right now.
Why would you know it already?
But I'm his personal doctor.
Hold on.
If you're the only survivor, he's got to make sure you're good. So that way he can make the moves he needs to make appropriately.
Oh, God. That means he's gonna kill me.
No.
You're here to kill me?
No.
You're here to cut the loose threads. Oh, fuck. I'm not going out like Vinny. I'm not going out like
Theo
Vinny.
grabs the pillow and slams it on his face.
Woo! Jesus. Roll fight.
To clarify, Theo has zero intentions of killing him here. Oh God, that's only a 2.
At this point, he's struggling so much. He's like, help, 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 until Sloane bursts in the door. Your time is up, Maxwell. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
He was having a panic attack as Theo kind of takes off the lab coat and drops the board on the guy's chest. Theodore Maxwell, bud. And he smacks him on the face. I'll see you around. As Theo walks out of the room.
Okay. As we close today's episode, where are you headed to, Theo?
Next would then be the commander's office.
All right. So as you exit Aurora General, head back towards the Citadel, and the rest of you just approaching the Knights of Axiom headquarters. That's where
Theo
we're
would...
going.
Oh, sorry. That can be next episode. Ignore that.
That's where we're going to end tonight's episode. Woo!
Moving and shaking, dude.
That
Shaking.
man, that poor kid, the 13-year-old man, that was tough. That was a real solid scene, guys.
It's not always positive with Mr. Theo Maxwell.
Right.
It's on
love
Theo's side.
Well, I do. I love the detail of everybody in his building talks about Theo, because we've established how like folk hero he kind of is. Ugh, I hadn't thought of the other side of that coin.
Again, the trouble can't make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Can't. A solid episode, you guys, and thank you everyone at home for joining us. Whether you're tuning in live here on Twitch, or you're watching it back on YouTube, or listening on podcast, we so appreciate it. And if you're really enjoying it, then please, we invite you to leave a comment or a review and tell some friends about it, because that is the best way that you can support us here at 4Geeks by Geeks. And be sure to hit the links below to support the other great channels that are in league, like Dairy Public Radio, Let's Get Rolling, Birds Suck, Cantina 13, and all of our friends over at FGBG. But until next time, I am Bozer.
I'm Josh.
I'm Britt.
I'm Austin.
I'm T.
And you just keep geeking out.
Geeking out.
Bye-bye. Bye.